Hey everyone, this is Miss Fisher. I'm going to go over the exercises in the dog class since we ran out of time today. So if you take a look at the main class, um, we can see that we've got some dogs which are instantiated here, and we've got an array of dogs, and we will actually begin starting to talk about arrays in the next unit. Basically, just think of it as a list of dog objects, and we also have a dog competition instance. So it's declared dog competition data type. And the name of this reference variable is the limb cup because my last name is Lim. Walnut and Chestnut are my dogs. Their names, they are both mutts. They're rescue dogs from SPCA. And my sister, whose name is Christina, she lives in Boston, she actually just obtained a Labradoodle, and his name is Wrigley, and he is just adorable, as are Walnut and Chestnut. So if you take a look at the dog class, it's very straightforward. It's got three private instance variables: name, age, and breed. We've got the constructor here, and we're going to implement this method for exercise 3, but let's take a look at this method here, exercise 1. I went over this, but extremely quickly during class. So if you look at the main class, and then within the main class, the main method, what's happening here is we're using a for loop, and we're going to print each of these dogs. When you print, what's happening, and maybe I can make it even more clear within this for loop, is if you declare a local variable called dog and you assign it the um, the zeroth, okay, the zeroth dog. This is at index 0, and then we're going to print the dog. The first dog we're going to print is dog 1, and then dog 2, and then dog 3. But when we print these, um, oops, I forgot a semicolon here. When we print these, it doesn't really give us that useful information. I mean, it's information. This is considered hash code that corresponds with the memory address of the particular dog object. But what we really want to know about these dogs is what is their name? What is its breed? How old is it? And so we're going to go back to the dog class, and we're going to, it's called override, and we will talk about that at length later on in the year. We are going to redefine the toString method, okay? And so again, I did do this in class, but let me go ahead and do it one more time here. And the toString method basically is a specialized accessor method. It returns information about the object, and in this case, its name, age, and breed, as a string. And so what we're going to do is we're going to return its name plus white space plus the age plus white space, just to make it look a little bit nicer, plus, and then the breed. Okay, so this will all concatenate first and then be returned when we call on the reference variable, because when you print the reference variable, in this case dog, it automatically, okay, automatically calls on the toString, oops, here, method, okay? So when you print that reference variable, it actually calls on the toString method automatically, and we get much more useful information about the three dogs, okay? So let's take a look at exercise 2. We're going to uncomment and run, and we're trying to get direct access to the dog's name, the dog's age, and the dog's breed. And in order to access its instance variable, you can use the dot operator, the reference variable, and then the instance variable, the field of the instance variable. But as you can see, we get an error. It says these fields or these instance variables are declared private. Now take a look at what happens here. I didn't get a chance to do this in class. What about if I actually declared them public? Well, if I declared these all public and then ran the program, there actually wouldn't be a problem because if you declare the instance variable public, you can actually access it using the reference variable, the dot operator, and then the name of the instance variable. And you can see in dog 1, it was walnut here, and then walnut is, and then the second one is dog 2, chestnut is 8, and dog 3, that was Wrigley, is a Labradoodle. Okay, but we normally don't want this to happen. We want to hide these instance variables. Okay, we want to keep them hidden, and we want to control how the outside world is able to access this data. So instead, we're going to call on getName, and we're going to call on the accessor method, and then we're going to call on getAge, which is again an accessor method, and then we're going to call on getBreed. Okay, and so then in the dog class, what you're going to do is you will go ahead and declare these public, and I'll do one of them for you. Okay, so we know that getName is going to return a string because name is string, and we're just going to return the name of the instance variable. So I've done getName, and you're going to do getAge and getBreed on your own. Just note that age returns an int, so the return type should be an int here and not string when you're working on getAge. Okay, so that's exercise 2. So I'm going to go ahead and comment these two since we haven't defined them yet, but we have defined getName, so that will give us walnut. Okay. Exercise 3 asks us to implement the do breeds match in the dog class, and so the method sounds like what the name of the method is, and so let's go into the dog class. And so what doBreedMatch is going to do is this is a method within the dog class, and the parameter, this is interesting, the parameter is going to be another dog, okay? And so that's interesting, and we want to basically compare the breed of the dog, this dog, okay, to the other dog, which will be the parameter. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically compare the two strings because the breeds are strings, right? String data type. And when we compare two strings, we're going to use the compare2 method from the string class. So we can actually return the name dot compare2. And then the interesting thing about this is because this other dog parameter is a dog object, okay? We are within the dog class, so we can actually access this other dog's breed directly, even though it is declared private, okay? Recall in the main class, we tried to get the dogs, these dogs' name, age, and breed by just using the dot operator, dot name, but we weren't able to because we were in a different class. But if you look in the dog class, we're actually within the dog class, and so this is a dog object, and we can actually access the other dog breed, here, by just using the dot operator and then typing out breed, okay? And this will access the breed as a string, and then breed is going to be this dog's breed. And so actually, instead of using compare2, why don't we use dot equals? Because if we use compare2, we're going to compare it to 0, but we can also just use equals, and that will be that will directly just return a true or a false. Okay. So let's just take a look at this here. We've got this dog's breed, which is direct access to this instance variable, dot equals the other dog breed. Okay, so we're going to take a look here. And exercise 3, okay, let's go ahead and run it. And it looks like for the first output, it was false, right? Because Dog 2 and dog 3, we had Chestnut and Wrigley. Those breeds are not the same, but dog 1 and dog 2, they do have the same breed, so that returns a true. Okay. And then the last one, what we need to do is in the dog competition, we actually have the same method name, but take a look at the parameters, okay? We actually now have two parameters, okay, which are both dog objects, okay? They're gonna be reference variables pointing to dog instances, and we're gonna return a Boolean, all right? However, the dog competition is a different class than the dog class. So we have to kind of take that into account and recall that the breeds are private. So we're gonna actually have to go back and change this to get breed. I mean, we could add it. Let me go ahead and add it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add the accessor because we're not gonna be able to access directly the breed of the various dogs. So if we go back here, we can try it. Let's go ahead and try accessing. So let's do dog 1 dot breed dot equals dog 2 dot breed, okay? And if we try to access the breed of dog 1 and dog 2 and try to run this here, and let me go ahead and just comment this because, oh no, actually both of these are defined, but we don't need to take a look at the output at this point. Let's run it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so take a look. It says error. Breed has private access in the dog class, okay? So because we're not in the dog class, we're in the dog competition class, we're outside the defining class, the dog class. So instead of being able to directly access breed using the dot operator, we're gonna have to call on get breed, which is that public accessor method. And we're gonna call on again here, get breed, okay, which will give us the breed of dog 2. And then if we run this, then we can take a look at the main method and see how it's declared. So here we're comparing dog 1 and dog 2. This was walnut and chestnut. They do have the same breed. They're both mutts, so that returned true. And dog 1 and dog 3, those are different breeds, and so that returns a false. All right. So the biggest takeaway I think about this project was the fact that if you go within the dog class, you can actually access the private instance variables directly using that dot operator. But if you're outside of that defining class, and here we do have the dog parameter, but we are not within the dog class, you need to call on public accessor methods in order to get access to those instance variables. So again, in the dog class, these are the private instance variables, and here we had the public accessor methods. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful, and I will see you in class. Bye.